Good morning, class. Okay, so today we will start a new lesson that is on section 2, your history part. Okay, lesson number 2, the earliest societies. Okay, the first introduction. The earliest human remains in India are roughly 50,000 years old. So according to the estimation, the earliest human, they remain in India, okay? They remain like roughly about 50,000 years old. It took thousands of years for people to change and evolve into what they are today. Today we describe them as hunter-gatherer. People at this stage were nomads. They did not know how to grow food. They moved in groups to ensure safety from wild animals and for social security and companionship. The people ate roots of plants, berries, nuts, wild fruits, insects, and flesh of birds and animals that they trapped or hunted. None of these things were easy to do. Okay, so here their life was difficult and full of dangers and risks. So here it says that in the earlier time, listen carefully, okay? In the earlier time, people are illiterate. They don't know how to read or write. And they do not know anything except like thinking about their food and to hunt only, okay? It took 1,000 years for them to change. And today we used to describe them as a hunter or food gatherer. Okay, so those stages were known as nomads, and nomads, it means those who wandered here and there searching for food and shelter. Their life is so difficult and danger. Why danger? Because they don't have any safety place for the shelter, and also to save them from animals. They don't even know how to grow food. So all this makes their life, all this makes them so hard, their life to be so hard and risk. Okay, underline this. What do they eat? People, they used to eat, underline all these roots of plants, the berries, nuts, wild fruits, insects, and flesh of birds and animals. Whatever they grabbed, okay, or hunted. Underline till this. From here till here, okay? Next, there are 4 reasons why hunter-gatherers moved from place to place. Okay, so in the earlier time, why do early people, they moved from here and there? There are 4 reasons mainly, okay? The first one is food. They ate wild fruits and roots of plants. They led a wandering life in search of places from where they could procure their food easily. So they used to wander here and there in search of fruits and all, and also roots of the plants as their food. Okay, so that why do they move here and there? So that they get their food easily. The second, animals. Animals move from place to place. People by nature are weaker than fierce animals as tigers, lions, elephants, great reptiles like dinosaurs, great lizards, etc. Sometimes they were successfully in killing animals, at other time they may not have been. So even there are lots of hunter people during the time. Even animals used to feel scared on them, but apart from that, like wild animals and all, like dangerous animals such as all these things, even early people, they feel scared, okay? And sometimes they used to hunt the animals so easily, they kill them easily, but sometimes it takes a days for them to kill an animal, okay? Third, plants and trees bear fruits in different seasons, so people may have moved from season to season in search of different kind of plants and fruits. So even plants and fruits also, they used to bear fruits according to the season. So according to that season, they moved from place to place, from season to season in search of these things. Okay. Fourth, all living things require water. So water is our daily basis, one of the most important things, part of our life. Water is found in lake, river and stream in natural form. Natural form means the waters that are always that we found normally in the lake, river, streams. Okay, some of them are perennial, others are seasonal. Perennial means 24 hours every day, every month, every year, that we get water. Okay, and seasonal means according to the season we get water. In some place during dry season we don't get water, so those are according to seasonal. People living on the bank of seasonal sources, those who stays near the bank, like in a seasonal places, water would have had to go in search of water during dry season, so they need to go in search of water in a perennial places during the dry season. From this we can understand that the early man was a hunter, nomadic and food gatherer, and he was not a producer of food as he did not know how to produce. So here we get to know some main points about the early man, that is they are hunter because they don't have anything to have food like us, like our stage. Okay, they need to search the food here and there. Nomadic means wandering here and there, okay, for the shelter as well as the food. And food gatherer, and food gatherer means they collect the food from here and there. And he was not a producer means they do not know how to grow fruit, so they are not a producer. So all these points makes their life so hard during the early period. Okay, now how do we know about these people? How we get to know about these people? Archaeological evidences. Archaeological means a person who study about the past histories and also. Okay, they got the proof, evidence that, such as the remain of monuments, coins, ancient pottery and tools, drawings, image, etc. were used by people in that period. Underline all this. The archaeological, they found all these things about the early period. Okay, all this, underline all this. These are the things, the remain things that they use. Okay, the early people. This object tell us a lot about the way of life led by the early people. So all these objects help us, it led us to know about them. Use of stones or stone age. So during that time, what do they do with the stones? Throughout the prehistoric age, humans used the stones available for defending themselves against wild beasts and also to kill them, wild animals and all. Okay, during that age they used stones for killing animals and all. They often attach stones to handles of bones or wood to make spears or arrows to hunt animals for their meat. Underline all this. What do they use to kill animals means how they used to attach stone. Okay, underline all this. To make spears and arrows to hunt animals for their meat, for their meal. The stones were also used to strap off the skin of animals, cut meat and bones. They also used these stones to cut fruits and roots. Stones were even used for chopping trees to clear forests. So underline all this. What do they do with the stone? The first point is this. How they make the stone as their tool is this one. And after that, what do they do with the stone? That is, they also use to strap off the skin of animals, cut meat and bones. That is point number one. And also they used this stone to cut fruit and roots. Third point, they even use for chopping trees to clear the forest. Later, the wood of these trees were used as firewood. Since earlier humans were entirely dependent on stone for their living, the period is called the Stone Age. The stone tools were produced by two distinct techniques. Okay, so before that, here during this Stone Age, early people or the early men, they used stone as their tools. Okay, such as making spears and arrows. And how do they make this? Is by attach or joining the stone to handle with a bones or wood, and with this they kill animals. Not only that, but with the stone they used to cut or break the trees, and they used to tear the meat or flesh of the animals, and also cutting fruits, roots and all, and even cutting the trees to clear the forest. Okay, they depend everything on stones, so this period is called as Stone Age. Next page. Two distinct type, okay, that is number one, stone on stone technique. So what is the technique for them to make the stone as the tools? Okay, number one, in this technique, one hand of the tool maker firmly held the pebble. Pebble means a small pieces of stone, okay, or core from which the tool was to be crafted, means to make. Okay, the other hand held another stone. Held means holding two pieces of stone, okay, that was used as a hammer. So they used this making hammer. This hammer stone was used to strike off flags from the core stone till the required shape and size were obtained. So you can see the example here also. This thing you just go through how they make hammer, on how the process. Okay, pressure flaking technique. So the technique of making pressure flaking. In this technique, the core or the stone was placed on a firm surface or ground. Place it on the ground, okay? The hammer stone was placed, they kept the hammer stone on a bone resting on the core stone to remove flakes from the core stone. These flakes were shaped into tools. So after this stone on stone technique, they turned this pressure flaking technique, and this shape turned into a tools. First hammer, after that this. Number C is making of a spear. How they make a spear. Okay. Stone tools such as spear points were made through a process called flint knapping. So this process of making spear is called as flint knapping. Keep in mind, early human used stone to strike a rock in a particular way. Strike a rock means they used to make the tools by striking from a rock, okay, causing flake or chips to come off. Even today, with passion and learned skill, people can make spear points out of stone. The shaft of the spear was made from wood, the bark was stripped, and then the piece of wood strengthened if necessary. To cut down on the number of lost or broken spear shafts, early people made the shaft into two pieces. The spear point was attached to a short piece of wood, the foreshaft, which was then fitted into a longer shaft. This two-piece construction allowed the main shaft to fall off after the pointing was stuck in the animals. In this way, the shaft didn't get lost or broken if the animal was still able to run from the hunter. So this is the technique. These are the technique how the early people make a spear. Okay, from here how they used to make, how they did, you go through all this. Okay, only this much we will do today. Today I will not give you any homework. I just want you all to listen carefully about whatever I have explained to you. Okay, and from this I'm going to give you an extra notes also, so listen carefully. Okay, only that much for today.